All right, welcome into the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery. My name is Dave. I'm joined by my co-host Ficky. You can follow him on Twitter, or actually all socials at It's Ficky Baby. Check out myself on Dave_BFR on most socials as well. Bears, Falcons. Bears win. They put up 37 points against the top 10, or actually the 10th best ranked NFL defense in the NFL according to PFF. Again, I've saw some tweets early saying, this is a bad Falcons team. No, it's not. Like, this defense was legit. Sure, they have questions to quarterback. I mean, Taylor Heineke had 4 picks, but you got to get.
Ritter had one too.
Oh my God! You got to tip your hat to the Bears defense, though. This is not anything new. They've been playing this way. But before I get to it, Ficky, again, you can check out the pod, BFR_pod on all socials as well. But Ficky, man, how are you feeling after this one?
Man, that's great.
It's a hell of a game.
Hell of a game. Like I said this, and I think we both said this, brother. The pregame show was like, this was going to be an audition tape for Fields. So I think my bold prediction was like he was going to go off. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I was like, if Fields is going to play good, because this is either him proven to the Chicago Bears, hey, I'm your quarterback, no need to get Caleb Williams, or he's then going out to Atlanta and saying, hey, you want me? Look how good I am. I know you do, right? And I think he did that. I mean, like, this may have been, and let me know your thoughts, Dave, but this may have been Fields' best passing day. And maybe not numbers-wise because he didn't break 300, but it seemed like almost every pass he made that wasn't like, every intentional pass where it looked like it could have been caught, it was like a beautiful ball to where only the wide receiver can get it. Starts off with the 3 passes to DJ Moore. Just started off right when the snow was coming down like crazy. Shout out to DJ Moore and those catches, but those were thrown only to where he could. He had the one to Tyler Scott as well, where that 33-yard one in the end zone.
That one kind of broke my heart a little bit. I love Tyler, friend of the show, but it's like, does Marvin Harrison? I mean, he's not dropping that. He probably barely has to jump. He just grabs it and it's a touchdown. I mean, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Justin and how, you build around him. He has enough talent. He's not Mitch Trubisky. He's not, that type of, Daniel Jones. Everyone's like afraid of, if you give him a little bit of money, again, you don't even have to extend him next year. You don't have to. Simple as that. But I agree, man. I want to go over his stats real quick with Justin. Actually, I'm going to go through a couple of these. Because obviously it was a good day for Justin, but all around the defense, offense, everyone played relatively well. So I have a couple stats here. Justin Fields, he was 20 of 32, 268 yards through the air. I believe he had, let me pull it up, just lost it. So 268 yards through the air, 99.5 quarterback rating, 11 rushes, 45 yards, and a touchdown. And he also had a passing touchdown as well, the one to DJ Moore. All in all, it's a hell of a game for him. It's a great. You said audition. It's a hell of an audition. I don't think you can get much better there.
And not only that, it's like we secured the number 1 pick today as well. So we are literally in a perfect position because we have the number 1 pick. And we also have a quarterback who's made the decision very hard for Ryan Poles, which means that he's playing good enough that guess what? If you do trade him, his value is going up after this game. I guarantee you Atlanta is looking at this film and saying, okay, you know what? Maybe it was only a second and a fourth. Maybe we do have to jump up to a first. We don't know the conversations that go on. There's a lot of time, but teams are desperate for quarterbacks. It has always been the case in the NFL. We see mid-tier quarterbacks go for these high picks because teams need quarterbacks. It's hard to find a great quarterback. So whether Fields is here or not, what he did today is beneficial for every Bears fan out there. And we hope, next week we have the Packers. We hope he does the same, not only for our own benefit of like, we'd like to finally beat the Packers and stomp the brakes out, but we need another game like that because that's going to be 2 games, recency bias, where Fields has shown you what he can do through the air. The air. We know he can do through his legs. We saw 2 plays again today where you're like, oh my gosh, like viral clips. This man's going crazy. They said on the broadcast, magician. I love that. That's such a great term because he's pulling rabbits out of hats for these type of tricks, especially that one where it looked like the man's like pulling on his leg, the first one, and he gets out of that on 3rd down and runs. Only Fields can make those type of plays. There's no other quarterback. Possibly Lamar, who also is amazing. He went off today. They dropped like 56, but Only Fields and Lamar can do that. So I just think it was great to finally see that game, right, Dave, where we could go, wow, that's the passing quarterback we expected. Almost put 300 yards up without Cole Kmet. I don't even think Cole Kmet got a target, right? And I think it's because of that knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
And basically just kind of force feeding like DJ Moore, which you should. But so like imagine, like you said, if there's more weapons next year with like a Malik Neighbors or a Marvin Harrison Jr. or a Brock Bowers, what like where's the potential for Fields?
I mean, you said it perfectly. The potential really is it's crazy because you saw today with his legs, he did what he typically does. But you then saw him do it with his arm as well. And there was plays out there that you talked about. Tyler Scott comes to mind. DJ Moore even late in the fourth where I think it would have been a crazy one-handed grab, but he also was kind of getting dragged back a little bit by that defender. And of course the refs were that's one thing I want to kind of point out. They were all over the place. A lot of missed calls. Again, Justin, he did not get the call, late hit. I mean, the guy just smacks him in the face. You know, I saw Tyler Heineke the very next drive gets hit. His was clearly, absolutely roughing the passer. But it's like you see him on the ground asking for, hey, you know, what the hell was that? Justin does that every game, and he doesn't get it. Like that was such a late penalty from the refs. I was shocked they even called it, but you just don't see Justin get that, and that just pisses me off. I'm not going to go on a rant because we do it every week, it seems like, but overall, you don't move. I know last couple weeks it's been up and down with Fields, but this right here is why I've been saying if you build around him like San Francisco or even Philly did with Jalen Hurts, at worst, you're going to be a dangerous playoff team because I know they just got eliminated. The Bears got eliminated today. They don't have a shot to make the playoffs in week 18. But this team would have been dangerous. It would have been, I'm not saying they win it. You know, I know you hear dangerous. I'm serious. Like I don't think you want to play this team. If they were sneaking in, say they beat the Browns, right? I think they're 5 out of their last 7, right? 5 straight at home. For me, I know they're probably getting in as a 7 seed or something like that, but they just would have been a team that you do not want to play with if you're like even a top seed like, you know, Philadelphia or something like that, because Philly just got upset by the Cardinals.
Crazy,
right?
Crazy.
So I'm telling you, if this team could have not collapsed, you know, during those 3 games, the Broncos, Detroit, and then Cleveland. First of all, I think they have the tiebreaker and they would be leading the division against the Detroit Lions because of their loss yesterday. So not only could this team be fighting for a wild card, but they could be fighting for the division if they did not collapse historically in those 3 games. So, and Cleveland might not be historic, but
in the long haul though, like as a fan, I agree. Like we want playoffs and we want to win, but our draft pick does stay within the top 10, I think now. Most likely. Like you hit playoffs, you go to 15. I know. We still have the first overall.
Give me the fucking playoffs any day of the week, Ficky. But I hear you. I know.
I feel you. The good thing is no matter what, we are in. Normally when we miss the playoffs, the future is bleak. It's like there's nothing to look forward to. It's like this team sucks again. Our players aren't playing well. We got, you know, we don't have cap space. Our players are old, yada, yada, yada. This is the first time that I can remember where we missed the playoffs. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. But we have the first overall pick. We have all the cap space. This game alone, again, showed Poles draft class balling out. Tyreek, 2 picks.
Good
Gordon,
God.
Pick. Javon Dexter. And free agency signed TJ Edwards again with another pick and all over the place.
And I saw you tweet it. I tweeted it too. He makes a case for an all-pro year. I mean, just an unreal.
And then Tremaine Edmonds, a couple of TFLs, almost had a pick himself. JJ, you know, before he got injured, playing well. Like, you just see across the board, like, young, good players. And typically, when our team is, you know, on the brisk of playoffs or being able to make it, it's a bunch of older, good guys, right? Yeah. So we're in a situation now that if we do stick with Fields and we build, this team is still going to get younger and better. Right. And if we don't go with Fields, right, and we go Caleb or Drake, whoever it is, we're in that same situation. So, yes, of course we want playoffs. Next week, we better fucking beat the Green Bay Packers. We both want that. But if we lose, will I be upset we lost?
Well, I'll be fucking pissed.
Yeah, we'll be pissed, right? Of course, we always will. But in the grand scheme, I'm like, okay, 2 top 10 picks, one of them's first overall. Like the needle is still moving in the right direction. We've won last 5 out of, I think you said like 7. We've won 5 home games in a row. So there's a lot of positive things to look at moving forward. And we talked about this on the pregame. Brad Biggs' article, and then also Ian Rappaport saying these last 2 games are going to kind of push the needle on whether or not Flus is here or not. He's here after this game. There's absolutely no, even if he loses to Green Bay, unless we get stomped like 50-0 or something where it's like so embarrassing, which I don't think will happen. Like even if we lose, I think we lose and it's kind of decently close. I think Flus after this game and his 8-game streak or whatever it's been, he's kind of solidified.
Look at that defense. I just don't think you can move on. I know it's an offensive league, but it's like go get a just go get a brilliant OC. And I want to give credit to Luke Getsy. I was hard on him. He had a couple plays. He had a screen right after that 75-yard touchdown run by the Falcons. That was a screen. And I got to admit, very next play, the very next drive, Getsy, of course, had to call a screen. It was abysmal. Almost looked like it was going to be picked.
Yeah,
and all in all, but he had a pretty damn good day. And I know we give him a lot of flack, but it's like, and also you got to give it to Justin for, being, a magician, Houdini back there. But all in all, Getsy wasn't terrible. And I tweeted this yesterday and I got fucking killed because I was just tweeting my thoughts. Bro, I know what you're talking about. So many people were like, what? Don't put that out there. I said, basically, I feel like Luke Getsy is going to be back as well because that's when the Flus news dropped. And I just was like, you know what? I think I got 200 I basically ratioed myself and it's okay. I just wanted to tweet it because I really do feel like this man really is possibly coming back.
We talked about the big word. There's the consistency, right? Like if you bring Fields back, do you want to go that route of a third offensive coordinator in 4 years for Fields, right? I agree. We've definitely shed on Getsy, which he deserves, but today there was like, okay, maybe a play. Like there's offensive coordinators always have like 1 or 2 plays. You're like, that's garbage. Overall, though, I don't think I had any Getsy tweets. I think I had one in the first quarter, which basically said, I said, Getsy's playing well. Hopefully he doesn't blow it or he's calling well. And he did it. So you know what? Again, it's only one moment, right? It's one game. And we had some other games where Getsy's called well, but hopefully this is something, a light of something that's more to come instead of just an outlier, right? So if we can see this again next week and they kind of put on a clinic, then maybe the right move is Fields, keep OC, keep DC, and the biggest change is just improve the roster. Get your first 3 picks, your first 2 picks, offensive focus. Let's really, really double down the investment, especially since last offseason, which I wasn't mad about. We went in the defensive route, right? You brought in the free agents like Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. Your first picks were Javon Dexter, Darnell Wright, which is offense, so that counts. We had Zach Pickens as well. It seemed like, a lot of
Tyreek Stevenson. Did you say him?
Yep. Nope, I didn't. So that's a good one as well. And Terrell Smith. You really focused on
go back to the year before. Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker.
Yes,
it's time. It's
yes.
And Brisker and Gordon were Ryan Pohl's first draft picks. Because they didn't have a first that year, did they?
Correct. 2 seconds.
He went defense the last 2 years, outside of maybe Darnell Wright, who it was a no-brainer. You go with him. They liked him. He was high on their boards. They basically passed on Jalen Carter. And you look at Javon Dexter right now. You look at some of these pieces on defense. It worked out, And then now it's time to, and there's no better opportunity than what Ryan Poles just gave himself. They clinched the number 1 pick today via Carolina losing to the Jags. Now you can go and you could just build a juggernaut around Justin Fields. That now you can only go. I know there's a question here. It says, are you willing to pay Justin $200 million? No, you're good. And it's like, you don't have to right now. You don't have to. You have 2 years where you could either next year, decline the 5th year, or just, let him play it out and franchise tag him. But for me, it's like, you don't have to pay him $200 million yet. And that's great. You don't have to make that decision. But for Justin, what did you say?
No, go ahead. I was going to say,
I'm just saying
that means he's playing well. So if that's what his market is,
you don't give 200. Well. Yeah. He's too inconsistent right now to be like, here's 200 million, but but today shows you you can perhaps go pretty far with him if you build a perfect, I mean, not a perfect, but a damn near perfect roster around him. And you have that ability if you hit on these picks. So Marvin Harrison Jr., Neighbors, you can go Brock Bowers. You know, the right, maybe get another right guard or get some depth there. Obviously a new center. Shout out to Lucas Patrick with that one, again, that kickoff return. Like, he was busting his ass, but still. He's got to go. I don't want him here next year. He's just too.
No. He'll be here. Man. I think he'll be here. He'll be a backup, 100%.
He makes some plays. I guess he's a backup right now, though, right? He's not starting, is he?
No, he's starting right now. Yeah, he's a starter right now. Because who was the starter there? They did move
Cody Whitehair?
Right, but he's not snapping because
Lucas is snapping. You're right. So he is starting. Anyways, so he would be in the bat. He would be basically a
which is not a bad back. Which is not a bad internal.
He's just not a starter. He's not a starter. Correct. He's not a starter. And I think that they're fine. I retract that statement then. But anyways, long story short, it makes this offseason that more just important because it's like you could either restart the QB clock. I love it. You know, people love that, but it's like Justin did some things today out there. It's like, I mean, some of the play that he was throwing guys off him and then ended up getting the first down, Ficky, it's like
crazy.
How many other players do that? He's one of one when it comes to that. Sure, he missed. It's crazy. But he's also, the acceleration is what I think is key too. He's big, he's strong, but it's like as soon as he throws that guy off him, his acceleration is key to him getting that first down because he just takes it's just effortless, you know. And Caleb Williams, yes, he's a magician as well. He's, you know, as far as extending plays, he's great at it. But when he gets to this next level, I think he's too small. I'm sorry. I don't think he's fast enough either. I don't. Lamar, is shifty, but he's not as big as Justin.
I see Caleb more as like a Mahomes type of like Mahomes isn't fast.
Like athleticism?
Yeah, Mahomes isn't fast, but Mahomes will get himself out of weird situations but he isn't getting out of weird situations and running for 70 yards. He's getting out of weird situations, maybe getting 4 or 5 or what he really does, gets out of situations, finds someone who you didn't expect to be open and throws them for 30 yards, right? I think that's going to be more of Caleb's route, right? Like if he becomes I think that's what people envision if he's great. Fields is different. When Fields throws a 260-pounder, defensive lineman off him, the first thing that happens in my mind, there's open field. I don't even know if there is, but the first thing that comes to my mind goes, this man is taking off for like 70 yards. Like he's running. You know what I mean? And I'm not even mad about it because I know you're going to get 10 yards. Yeah. So two different types of evasiveness, but yeah, Fields is a different beast. Like I said, Lamar is the only thing that's close to him in that.
And Ficky, and we both said it. It's like if you can build around him, he's good enough to take you pretty far. We just don't know how far that is. Is that a Super Bowl? Can you win with him? We don't know that question. I'll tell you what, they can get to the playoffs and they can make some noise. They should have done it this year. I just kind of talked about the route where they could have been if they would have won those close games. And for me, it's like, now you have a chance to go into next year with consistency. Sure, maybe you bring in another OC. I'm fine with that. I understand it. Maybe he's the scapegoat. You bring Flus back. The talent around both Flus and Justin will be too much. They will at least make the playoffs, or at the very least. Because I mean, barring injuries and everything. So,
well, let's be real. Fields is going to get better again. Like next year, again, Fields has gotten better every year, right? The issue is how much better he's gotten. So it'd be not fair for me to think that he's not going to get better again. So that means next year, if he improves on already what he has, he'll probably be closer to that 4,000 mark as a passer. And then if the defense stays how it is and we add more weapons, I don't see why it would be impossible to think that we wouldn't be fighting for that NFC North spot. Now, don't get me wrong, Detroit Lions could still beat us in that. And maybe we get we might get the wild card spot, which is totally fine. But I don't think that's out of realm to think that this team and how it's been playing, especially. So actually, speaking of the Detroit Lions, you look at the Detroit Lions last year, right? They finished their back half in a positive manner, right? They won a little bit more games than we did, and that's fine. And their first half of the games were a little bit closer than ours were. Like our first 4 games weren't close at all. We were getting stomped. But if you look at like the same trajectory, like if it's a graph, they were going up right on that back half. We're in that same boat. So you see how the Lions are this year because they've realized, oh, hey, this looks like our window. It looks like we're at a spot where we can actually start to add a lot of pieces and we'll be in contention. The Bears could be in that same situation. Mm-hmm. And the difference is they have better picks, better cap space. And so they could bring in a whole lot more talent at a faster rate. So go ahead.
I was going to say this. So it's like the money that you might have to pay Justin, which isn't $200 million. Say you pay him north of $30 million, something like that. Or you pay him, a reasonable amount. You have to pay quarterbacks. They're going to get paid. However, you're going to be saving on a potential rookie, Marvin Harrison Jr., who's not going to cost you anything, essentially. Sure, first round money, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, look at Justin Jefferson. Look at some of these guys that are about to get paid. Jamar Chase, has he got paid yet? I'm not sure. Did no. Jamar get paid? I can't remember. Anyways, it's like you're going to be saving so much money around the other part of the roster, like your right tackle, Darnell Wright, all these guys that paying a quarterback is still going to keep you within that window to keep some of these guys around. So like a Jalen Johnson, which, I mean, he went out with that shoulder injury. He had first of all, it was a great tackle on Bijan Robinson. He kind of lowered his shoulder. I was like so excited. I like jumped up, and then all of a sudden I saw his shoulder. I was like, shit. He was questionable. He did not return. Didn't even have his helmet. But hopefully he's all right. But like to see him against the Packers against Lambeau.
It was questionable and not out. Since it was questionable and not downgraded out, that's kind of hopeful.
I just don't know if he's going to play the last game. There's no playoffs. I don't know.
That's a great question. I don't know. It's the Packers though. You know what I mean? So maybe. Yeah, I don't know. If it was a different team, then possibly, because like, what's the game for? But maybe also get some more interceptions. I mean, maybe he's trying to get some more picks, bro. So he can get the more interceptions he gets, the more millions of dollars he's just adding on to his his leverage. So maybe he goes out there and does that. But either way, I'm not concerned about him because he's going to be fine. And I still think we're going to sign him this offseason. He's going to be back next season. So. Like I said, there's not the only remaining question mark for this team is really the quarterback, because I feel like all the other holes around this team are going to get addressed. Maybe not every one of them, because that's hard to do, but a lot of them are going to get addressed in free agency and the draft. And the biggest thing is that Ryan Poles has basically been a magician. We talk about a magician, right? Has put on a masterclass in the draft, right? With the value he's gotten from it. Not only with the first round pick that he did last year, like just even if we didn't get the number one overall this year, the trade for DJ Moore already paid off. Like we already won that trade just because of DJ Moore alone. DJ Moore this game broke his career high in receiving yards, and I think in touchdowns he tied for 8 or something, right? So that's already paid off. Top 10 wide receiver check, like easily. The fact that pick also then turned into the number one overall pick, bro.
It's going to be it's an all-time trade. It's an all-time trade. And the thing is, if Bryce Young doesn't pay off, like, pan out essentially, it's going to look even worse for Carolina and even better for the Bears, who passed on Bryce Young. Caleb Williams, Drake May, these guys, they are scratch-offs. They are literally question marks. Sure, you love the talent, but Justin Fields was a great talent in college, and I think he was a better prospect. I know that might ruffle some feathers. I really do believe that. And I don't want to take anything against Caleb Williams. He's a good prospect too. I watched. We've seen him. I just don't know. We don't know. Yeah, we don't. And with Justin, you kind of are starting to see he hasn't fully blossomed into what he could become. However, there's a big sample size right now that we have, but it's only going to go up from here with the talent around, because last year you kind of throw it out the window, man. You don't really take all of that. Obviously it was great to see him put his team on his back, but it's like that roster behiine him was dog shit. It was terrible.
It was garbage. Well, speaking of
DJ Moore.
Oh, wait a second. I want to say one thing about Fields before we go to DJ. We did see some stuff from Fields today that were question marks about him as a prospect, and even this year, right? One of the biggest ones was anticipation. He had at least 3 anticipation throws, all of them to DJ. He had the first one, right, in that back corner over Jesse Bates, who's an all-pro free safety, right? The first touchdown he had, he threw it on the break and to where only DJ could get it. Another one that I remember off the top of my head was that big one, the post, where it fell right into the bucket of DJ Moore's hands. He threw it right when he hit on the break. Boom, anticipation only to where he could get it, where DJ kind of gave him a little kind of shove off a little bit. So it's good to see that in that game, like this game, that's why I say I think it was his best passing game, maybe not statistically, but because he really did. He answered all the stuff that we're like, well, he can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do that. He did it in this game. Accuracy, deep ball, decision-making, anticipation, all was done today, along with he ran, his legs doing crazy shit that he always does. So I think this might be a hot take for me, but I think this is his best game of his career from a passing standpoint. So
I agree. And because his misses were damn near completions. Tyler Scott, DJ Moore it was like the ball was, there was one, I think on Tyler, it was Tyler Scott. It was a crossing route and it was way over. Yeah, it was way. I was like, shit, come on, Justin. But again, it's like if I'm complaining about one throw, it's probably that one. And everything else was like either in the breadbasket to Tyler Scott or was so close to DJ Moore in that back corner end zone. But I want to get to
before you go to that one. Sorry, it's a super chat, so I want to share that. Okay, and then we'll get to yours. So we do have a super chat here from Tito, $5. Appreciate it, Tito. Always in here helping us out. He said, "I've said it once and I'll say it again. Build around Fields. He's too talented to let go. Once we are weapon a bad call, it will be lights out." Hey, if Fields plays like this every week, absolutely. I think the needle has moved even further to let's build around the guy. So, but go ahead, Dave. You're on mute.
I'm trying to actually see something. Hold on here.
Okay, you're good. But yeah, so in the meantime, I'll just talk about that comment. But I agree. Like, I think I mentioned that if you're talking about leaning left is Caleb, leaning right is Fields. I was kind of like 60% like stick with Fields, is build around him. I'm probably at like 70, 75 now. The only thing that would make me really, really, really question, and we won't know this and we won't ever know this until a trade happens or it doesn't, because like reports come out. But Michael Rubin had a comment here, which would make me, kind of change my mind. If you can get the number 9 pick from the Falcons, you get it. Like that would be, you know what I mean? You want to talk about changing your team. You have 3 top 10 picks. You got a first for Justin. Like if you're going to go the Caleb route, that's the way you would do it. You get Caleb, reset the clock, you get a number 9 pick from the Falcons, and you have your pick, which is probably top 10, top 12, whatever, right? You can really, really drastically change this team. I'm not saying that's the way I would go, but if I'm Ryan Poles and someone comes to me with a top 10 pick for Justin Fields, you can't, because you're not going to get that from anyone else. So,
oh man, that's tough, but I don't know if I don't even know if that's, you're talking about the number 9 overall pick from Atlanta.
Yeah, they were basically like, "Yo, we need them," because
we would have our pick, which is 10, 11, 12. Well, right. No, our pick. 10, 11, 12. Then we have the number 1 from Carolina, and then you have 9 from Atlanta. 9. So that's 3 first, and my God, I still think you keep Justin, man.
No, I feel you. I think build around Fields is the way to go, but a top 10 pick for Fields from Pole's perspective, you got to make that. But go ahead.
I got to bring up something. Hold on. So, Ficky, this is from the locker room. 2 things here. So, Tyreek Stevenson, Bears rookie cornerback, on the crowd chanting to bring back Justin Fields. He goes, "Shit, I want Justin Fields back." So, and then this is the locker room. This is the locker room right now with Justin, and I guess this is from Tyreek Stevenson's live stream. I'm just going to show it because it's fucking awesome. Kind of just shows how much fun this team is. Like the locker room is obviously behind Justin. In my opinion.
Of course.
Anyways, you can see the Victory cigars are out. This man, I just don't know how you can move on from that. And I know it's a business at the end of the day. It's probably not that hard if they want to move on. The locker room will get over it. But there is something
as long as you
when
win.
It comes to
if you win.
Yeah, but they're winning.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you get Caleb and you don't win, the locker room will not get over that because what happens is you took something that was working.
You know who else won't get over that?
DJ Moore.
Chicago.
We won't either. No.
Because the most Chicago thing ever would be, you trade Justin, you get a second, you get a first. First would be crazy, but you get a second, whatever. He goes out and he balls out. He becomes a franchise quarterback, one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league, top 10 every single year. And then you get Caleb Williams, and he busts. I mean, either a bust or at worst, middle of the pack, Kirk Cousins type numbers, but you can't really go far with him. It would just be the Bears thing ever to trade away a guy that could have been there, and you gave up on him too soon.
Yeah, man. That's why I said, I know Poles gets paid millions, and I understand this is the job he chose, and he does have a lot to work with. But man, there's a little bit in me that's I kind of feel sorry because you've said it before, but this decision is whether or not they put a statue up with your name on it or not. You know what I mean? Because if whatever way you go, that is cemented to you. Just like when we think about Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace was here for 7 years. That man did a lot in 7 years. But what do we know Ryan Pace for? Mitch Trubisky. There's nothing else. There's other great things he did, like even the Mac trade, which I think was maybe the timing wasn't right, but I think it was the trade was whatever.
It's good for 2018, and it was good if you had a quarterback.
Well, that's my point. People are always going to tie Ryan Pace to Trubisky, and so Ryan Poles, good luck, bro.
Because look at Montez Sweat. Look at what Justin's doing with Montez Sweat. I'm not saying it's all them, all Justin, but at the same time, they're winning since Montez Sweat was. Yeah, but I'm saying it's crazy. Great trade. But you put Trubisky in them. Sure, they put up some points here and there, but it's 37 against a top 10 defense in the snow. They're it's pretty awesome to see. I want to bring up another. Let's see here, another video. This one's Khalil Herbert right now going on. And it's his locker room. It's going to be from Bears Marquee.
By the way, another great game by Khalil. Back-to-back 100-yard rushing. So.
I said it. Yeah, he's healthy finally. He just never – and shame on me. I guess I should have really thought about his injury a little bit more. Maybe they brought him back a little too soon. He didn't look the same when he first came back. And it's these last two games, you're seeing that burst, and it's damn. Yeah,
he's a bowling ball,
I would love to see him score there, though. That one in the fourth, I think tired. It was so close. He
looked tired.
Well, they were lying. Yeah,
no, but didn't he get it? He got it on the next play. I think they handed.
Was it Roshan or him? I think it was Herbert.
It was Herbert. Yeah,
because Rojo and Herbert both have one. So this is right after the game. Bears 37, Falcons 17. 4 straight wins versus NFC North opponents. Wow, I didn't even know that. Because at one point we were 0-8.
0-8. I had no idea about
Shit.
That. Wait, no.
This is a turnaround, dude.
Oh no,
NFC opponents.
NFC opponents.
I was thinking NFC North. Yeah,
but still,
here we go. Khalil Herbert on Justin Fields.
Yeah, he's special. He's special. You never know what he's gonna do in that pocket and being able to make plays and get out of sacks. And he's special. I shake my head on the sideline watching because I don't know how he does it, but he's special.
You make a pretty good case to be back here next game.
Who?
Justin.
I think so. But. Yeah, he's special. He's special,
Cleo goes, it's I fucking think so. I bet these players hate getting that question, though.
Yeah, of course.
Just because it's the question. As soon as they answer, it's like headline. Of course, it's going to be a headline. So,
so this is funny. Ethan made a comment here. Tyreek also got randomly drug tested as well. So Tyreek had 2 interceptions. He got randomly drug tested. DJ Moore went off. He got randomly drug tested. I don't know if you've been seeing it. CeeDee Lamb, when he played yesterday, had a historic game. You know what I mean? Broke franchise record.
No, he did not. He
got drug tested literally when he got back to his locker room. You're seeing it all across the NFL. I just think it's kind of funny. It's guys play well, and they're like, all right, buddy, what do you want? So, but
they might need to drug test some of these refs, though.
Oh my, bro. Okay, I know this isn't it's not a Lions podcast, but the game last night, bro.
Yeah, that's rough.
How that game ended is the epitome of reffing this year. Just absurd. I know reffing is hard and there's gonna be bad calls here and there, but there have been some abysmal play calls, and even tying it back to us, right? Like, I don't understand week after week how Fields can't get one personal foul. He gets hit in the helmet at least, you know what I mean? I don't think they're like super intentional, but still the rules are the rules. Like,
so you say that. The one that I tweeted where I came in. Anyways, the guy, it looked like he smacked him on purpose.
Yeah,
maybe he didn't. It just looks intentional to me. It's like
either way, though, it's a penalty.
But call it, and it's going to stop happening to him, because at one point he's going to get seriously hurt, or they're going to land on his ankle or something, and anything to the head. They're really they call it almost every single time. And for me, it's like not on Justin. And I'm not going to get into all these reasons why. And I get he's a big, strong, athletic quarterback, but at some point you have to protect him too, because the Bears, sure, say they keep him next year, and they're start off hot. This is all hypothetical, but they're 7-3. They're a great team, and you let him get hit late because you're not calling it consistently enough, at least against him. And for me, it's like the defense knows. Every week they go in, they have game plans like, hey, you can't do this. They're going to call that, blah, blah, blah. The defense, they understand, hey, Justin's got 0. He hasn't gotten one unnecessary roughness call all season. It's incredible.
I think, though, if they start 7-3, he'll start to get them, because it's always they start to give them once they are like good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Which is weird, because Taylor Heineke got one before Fields did, but
he was just bitching. He was just like, you could. Yeah. That was a tough one. That was rough. I think Fields would hope. I mean, we've seen him take that though.
Bro, we saw the one at halftime. He threw up on that Hail Mary. I can't remember what game it was. The Browns, and he got smoked. Of course, that was the same referee crew, Brad. I can't remember his name, Brad something, that did the games last night that were atrocious. Yeah. So maybe it's just like that crew is just horrible, and we get them too often. But yeah, overall, I think though, like, great game by Fields. I think that, we didn't even talk about the defense, but the defense was fucking amazing, bro. Tyreek,
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions again. I think we lead the league in turnovers now. I don't think
they have 22.
Yeah, 22. We were second with 18, and I doubt another team. I don't know who the number 1 was, but I doubt they had 4 today. That probably puts us
Let me pull it up here. I have a.
That's fine. But Javon Dexter looked good. Montez Sweat looked good. DeMarcus Walker had a great tackle for loss to start it off. Now, Justin Jones had some good plays, but some bad penalties, but that's fine. Overall, I will say, though, I think the Falcons O-line did a pretty decent job, because we really didn't see Sweat until like the 4th quarter. But our secondary did wonders. Whatever Flus cooked up, he cooked it up right, because there weren't many wide open receivers. Really, their biggest play was that screen, right? And that's only because Jalen Johnson fell down on it. But they didn't really have that many big plays. And their biggest plays was basically nothing's open. Taylor Heineke, the pass rushing gaps would make big holes, and he would just run through, kind of what Fields does. So, but overall, the defense played really well.
They have to be leading. I think they have 22 or 23 interceptions, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's
22 or 23. 22. Yeah. That's incredible. What a turnaround by this defense. And then that's why Matt Eberflus, I think you bring him back. I want to talk about, one thing that, as far as like quarterbacks that are going to need, or I guess teams that are looking for a quarterback, the Bears, you could say, might be on that list, but it's like Atlanta. There's going to be so many teams, going to probably aim to at least talk with the Bears. Who do you think? Who do you think, Ficky? Who do you think ultimately makes that call and maybe is willing to give up a lot to perhaps go up and
Falcons?
As far as Caleb, you think Falcons? That's what I was thinking here, because
I think because they have the best. They have the, like, you look at other teams that are needy for quarterbacks, like Commanders, even Broncos. Teams like that. Falcons have a better overall team. They're worse. Like, look at their offense. They've got good weapons. We talked about this on the pregame. Drake London's good. Kyle Pitts is good. We saw today Bijan's a beast. Even Algier's a good running back. Their offensive line, I just mentioned, solid. We just talked about how their defense is a top 10 defense, only allowed 16 points or less, in quarterbacks under 200 yards in the past 4 games, right? They have an all-pro safety with Jesse Bates, a great Grady Jarrett's so good. They've got talent all around. They've won, 7 games with Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. Think about that. So if you were to take that team and put a much better quarterback in that situation, they can easily be in like a contention, right? So they will risk that to go. They're more likely to be like, here, we'll give you whatever. We're ready to be in win now mode. And Fields is young enough that it's not like, oh, it's not like a Matthew Stafford trade. We're just kind of getting you for the back end of your career, or, a couple years here and there. Nah, this could be your next quarterback for the next 8 years plus. So I think the Falcons are most likely to pull it.
I wouldn't. What about Washington too? I just throw another team in there. I think they would probably give up a lot. Another player, like, say you can't.
There's probably less though, so I wonder if polls would go with like them. I think the Falcons have to.
But this is where I'm getting. This is what I'm saying. Terry McLaurin.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they give a player something.
Say you can't get Marvin Harrison Jr., which I think would be ideal. I would love to get him, but say then you get a couple picks, a first, 2 first, and then similar to like DJ Moore, you just throw in Terry McLaurin instead of another first, and it's like, for me, that might be very interesting. I think that would be a pretty great duo.
What are they?
Who knows?
Are they fourth or third? Because the Cardinals won, so I think they're third. So we'd only move back 2 draft spots, I think.
Let me see here.
Maybe pull up Tankathon because I can't.
Yeah.
And then while he does that, I just want to let everyone know, thank you all for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Go ahead. If you're enjoying the show, you're enjoying the podcast, give us a thumbs up, a like on YouTube. To our Apple and Spotify listeners, we really appreciate you taking the time to listen as well once you get to it. And please leave a 5-star review. We really appreciate that as well. And then also, we do have voicemails. We had some come in for this game, so we will be sharing those near the end of the show. And just know that we're going to continue doing this. If you need to find the link, we typically tweet it on our Twitter page. But we're going to continue that. So if you want to voice your opinion about the games at half, at the end of it, before the game starts, you can always go to that voicemail line and call in and leave it's basically like a recording, right? You go in there and record what you want to say and then end it.
Yep.
And then
we'll here.
Thank you. Yep. Go to our link tree.
Absolutely. Basically, if you go right here. What'd you say?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. Just go to Linktree. I was just going to show it real quick. Right here is the voicemail line. You click it, and then you can just go ahead and share. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's super easy. You don't even have to call in. You just hit the button, start recording, and it automatically saves it there.
Pretty easy.
Anyways, though, what was I was going to go through. So I went ahead and tweeted this real quick just so we could kind of share them, and then we'll kind of give our feedback as well. And it was basically to recap this game in 5 words or less. So, Ficky, I'm gonna let you go first here.
Wait, didn't we already do this Didn't we do?
No, that was describe the Justin Fields era in 5 words or less.
Recap the Bears game in 5 words or less. Okay, I didn't even.
That's what I'm saying.
Tweet.
Recap this Bears game in 5 words. Anyways, I got a ton of some really, really good ones, some funny ones. Over like almost 400 plus responses. So, Ficky, I don't know if you want to take some time here. Kind of give me how did you recap this one? 5 words or less. And in the comments, let me hear yours too.
Okay, yeah. No, mine's pretty easy. Recap this Bear game in 5 words or less. I'm going with 1 and a period. Perfection. It was a perfect game across the board. Running game, beautiful. Passing game, beautiful. Fields in both running and passing, beautiful. Defense, amazing. Like special teams, we didn't even talk about special teams. Even the kick almost 6, we stopped it, so they did their job there. And Cairo Santos made about every kick, right? So overall, there's nothing I walk away from this and go, wow, they should have done this instead. The team put up 37 points. The team put up 37 points and held the Atlanta Falcons to 17. The Bears now, their defense has held the last 5 opponents to 20 points or less. In today's NFL, that is phenomenal. So I see that the offense went on a scoring spree. The defense held the team from scoring 20 points, had 4 turnovers as well. Like, there's nothing I can complain about. A game of pure perfection. What about you?
Honestly, I'm going to think on it. I have a couple things, but I mean, you kind of said what I was going to go in the Justin Fields route as well, but I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and highlight some of the ones that I got because there was a ton of comments. So I appreciate that. First one is from our guy, Dave. Kluge. He's over on, let me see here. I'm trying to remember what he does over Football Guys. That's what it is. So anyways, long story short.
Apologist. He said Jay Cutler apologist in his description. That's funny.
He's answered a lot of my fantasy questions, so I appreciate it. But he said Justin Fields is our QB1. Kyle Long goes, a lot of points scored today.
With Kyle Long, I don't know if you saw on Twitter, he was active during the game today. Basically, he made a tweet about like what he would do about Justin Fields. And basically, he's like, if you get like a first from any team, you got to take it, right? Because that's just crazy.
Okay.
But otherwise, build around Fields. And boy, he got haters, tons. And so he was retweeting all of them and being like, yeah, you don't making fun of him whatnot. It was hilarious.
I might have to check it out. I didn't even see Kyle responded to this tweet until just now. So that's funny. Appreciate it, Kyle. But Zach over here goes, Fields is the future.
That's good.
Postal Bird goes, superb. We want Fields. And that was obviously there was chance. I'm going to bring up, I have a video saved here where it was loud, man. It was loud. And it's,
no, you can hear,
who was there.
You can hear it on the broadcast.
But there was a video of like someone was inside the stadium and it's just loud. Like I know the fact, which makes sense because you could hear it through the broadcast, but just being there, I can only imagine. And you know who was on the sidelines within like the last 4 minutes of the game? Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham.
Oh, wow. On the side. I thought someone we know because I know Jacob.
So they heard it.
Actually there. Oh, of course they did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we love to hear.
I think they heard it, but it's just it has to be a lasting impression. Now, if you go into Lambeau and he wins there too, I don't think you can move on. But Caleb Williams will look good in another uniform. Well, that's more than 5, right?
Yeah, Caleb Williams will look good in another.
I guarantee you those 6 comments are someone telling him, "Hey, what the fuck? 5 words or less." Justin Fields makes his case. I like that one.
Don't forget the one above too. 1 + 2 = 6. I love that one. You go to Fields to Moore does equal touchdowns. So Fields is our guy.
Well, a lot of them you can see here. Justin Fields is our guy. Chicago Bear, Marvin Harrison Jr. Jerry Harrison Jr. says Justin Fields is our quarterback. We draft Caleb. I will switch teams so fast.
That's also 8.
Some people didn't. Yeah. Anyways, you start to see some of these things here. I'm going to go over and try to check with Kyle, see what you were talking about. Cause
I'm pretty sure
I just want to see what he said. Nothing soldier. Nothing soldier. I guess I got to do better with my notifications, dude. I don't even see shit that pops on my fucking timeline.
I'll be missing
during game days. I just don't pay attention.
I missed your tweet. I didn't even. This is my first time even seeing this tweet. Oh yeah, here they are. See, he's like, LOL. Can I be your offensive coordinator? Like he's retweeting people.
Yeah.
So you'll have to go through. But basically, he like my whole Twitter feed was basically Kyle Long replying to people because they were going crazy because I understood where he comes from. It's the same sentiment we've been saying. If you get a haul for Fields, you can totally understand why Ryan Poles would make that decision. But on the other end, if Fields is balling out, just build around him. I don't feel like this is rocket science, but right now in the Bears fans.
My question is though, if someone is offering you a first-round pick for Justin, why are they offering you a first-round pick for Justin?
My thing is teams are desperate though, Dave. Sam
you don't give up a first-round pick for a quarterback unless you know they're pretty good.
What's his name went for a second? No, Sam Darnold. Went for a second, bro. I think he went for a second.
That pisses me off if that's the case.
That's my point. I'm like, you look at that and you go, wait a minute, Sam Darnold. I think he went for a second. Am I tripping?
3 picks, third pick. The Panthers have traded to get their own top pick. So Panthers gave Jets a 6th-round pick plus the 2nd and 4th-round picks in 20.
2nd and 4th and a 6th for Sam Dalton. Not Sam Dalton. What's his name? Sam. Is it Dalton? I can't remember his name. From the Jets.
Darnold. You're right.
Darnold. Yeah, Darnold. They gave up a 2nd, bro. So don't tell me that these teams don't overvalue, or not the right word. They definitely give up way more because they don't have leverage. The people will give up way too many picks for mid quarterbacks.
Yeah, the Jets received 3 picks: a 6th-rounder, a 2nd-rounder, and a 4th-rounder. What the fuck? That was Carolina, though. And look at what they did. They traded DJ Moore. So you can't
No,
you can't. This is Carolina.
I'm telling you. No, I'm telling you though.
No other teams doing that.
No, there are dumb teams out there. You don't think the Commanders are dumb? The Falcons haven't been good in a minute. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying we have seen bad players let me put this, bad's not the right word. We have seen mediocre young quarterbacks go for way more than what they should go for. Way more.
Yeah.
So Fields is better than mediocre. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone calls in and says, hey, Poles, here's a first. Does Poles take it? I don't know. We'll never find that out until the reports get leaked like by Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero and Schefter after the draft. But yeah, who knows?
So I'm going to go through the draft order real quick. And if you guys have any questions here in the chat, first of all, we appreciate the liveliness and you guys just, spending time your afternoon, New Year's Eve before it gets, to the evening, just talking Bears with us. It's a great day just to be a Bears fan, overall. But the draft order right now, Carolina locked in number 1. Draft position, you see that little square right here. I guess I can go ahead and
yeah, I see it though. It means
you see that little square? That right there is that little square. Who knew it would mean so much? But the Carolina Panthers lock in the number 1 pick for the 2024 draft, meaning the Bears are on the clock and have the number 1 pick. Of course, Washington is 2nd, New England is 3rd, Arizona 4th, New York Giants 5th, Tennessee is 6th, Chargers 7th, Jets 8th, Atlanta 9th, and then there you got the Bears 7 and 9 at number 10. It gets a little foggy though because there's a lot of 7 and 8 teams. Look at that, man. You can go from the Bears win next week, they'll be 8 and 9. They can drop all the way down to 15, 16, Ficky.
Well, you would think that some of 15, them will 14. Also win. Yeah. I don't. Well, here's my thing though. Out of all of those teams, I don't know what the last schedule is. Probably half of those from 9 to 15. Probably half of those are going to win. So I don't think we'll drop to 15, but we could easily drop out of top 10. I could see that. I don't even. I need to pull up that schedule. I want to see who. I will have to do that. I'll have to do that and see like realistically where we're projected to land based off who's playing who and whatnot.
Yeah.
Either way, we're gonna have a top 12. No matter what, we have a number 1, so we're set no matter what. But yeah.
And the cool thing is, man, the cool thing is here, Ficky, is you trade number 1 and you get a haul like we all expect if you trade that pick.
Yeah.
And your pick's number 13, 14, you're gonna have the ammo to move up. So say you trade back with a team, like say you trade back with Atlanta, who's at 9 right now, right? And you get a haul, whatever it might be, and you want to go get Marvin Harrison, and you want to kind of pull what Houston did last year, and you're like, okay, I want to move up to number 2 or 3, and I want to make sure we get our guy Marvin Harrison Jr. for Justin Fields. You could do that. Throw in a second, or just you can be creative here because you have the ammo. So
yeah, you have the ammo,
which is awesome.
Most likely, I think what Poles will probably do though is if he gets out of position of getting Marvin, he's a big value guy. We've noticed that for 3 years now. He's all about value. I think Malik Neighbors, who's had an amazing year. Like if you miss out on Marvin, but your consolation prize is Malik Neighbors, I am not mad about that. So I think the only way we'll and I could be wrong, right? We don't know, right? I think if we do a trade back, which is out of the MHJ realm, which would be good in essence because we're doing the same thing we did last year, but more. So I'm not mad about that. You do that, you're still in position to get like Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors. Like you can still get some weapons for Fields. But also, like you said, you could also trade up. He could do that. Like Marvin Harrison is that good of a prospect that maybe he's like, hey, I'm going to go get my guy.
Such a deep. It's just he's the
best prospect in the class.
Prize. He's the best prize. It's like, but Malik Neighbors, this receiving class is it's pretty damn good. We could look back in a couple of years and be like, 3 or 4 guys could really make a name for themselves there. So I agree with Colin there. Low key like Malik Neighbors. I do too, man. I would love to see. I would not be mad if he was over, at training camp. We get to see him next year with him and whoever's at quarterback. But Ficky, I guess I want to kind of get to some voicemails. I know we have a lot. Do you want to get to a couple and we'll react and then we'll finish up the show?
Absolutely.
I know we've been going. It's actually this is kind of light for us. Only 54 minutes, Ficky.
That's not bad. I think it's because we won and we don't have a lot of things to complain about. So
that's true. That's true.
We'll take that. So I'm gonna start with we got more ones at halftime. So we'll start with those and then we'll end on the ones with
So we're gonna go in chronological order. Yeah. And you got names and everything.
Yep.
Do you want to share the screen or you just want to play them?
No, I'll just play them. So first thing we have here is from Danny. So first voicemail. Thank you, Danny.
Okay, so first of all, Justin Fields is the answer. So that's good. Second of all, not really having to do with this game today, but the officials this year are just completely off, and I don't know what's going on, but I really feel like there needs to be some sort of accountability for these officials because it's getting ridiculous. And Happy New Year.
I appreciate that. Happy New Year.
Awesome. Yeah. Happy New Year. Absolutely. And yeah,
I agree.
Garbage. Terrible. They need to be full-time. That's the problem. They're part-time. You get them full-time. They work year-round, just like a regular salary, and they can just improve on everything. But that's for another discussion. All right. Next up, we have Nick.
5 words. Do not trade Justin Fields. Say, don't trade Justin Fields.
Don't trade the Fields.
Yeah.
What's that?
The younger generation knows.
Yeah, already indoctrinating him into it. Hopefully he has hopefully his childhood is much better than what we had to go through as children. But yeah, thank you, Nick. Appreciate that. And then hopefully I don't butcher this. Samaj, I'm hoping that's right.
Man, if we get this defense next year and then this offense that's a little bit improved, we're gonna be special, man. Like Justin balling, DJ balling, the D-line balling, the DB's balling, Brisker, everybody's going crazy. Granted, it's the Falcons, but it's an NFL team. They came to win just like we came to win. But we just want off-season away from being great. Like, DJ making some great catches, Justin making some beautiful throws, his athleticism on display, everything. Just beautiful, honestly. If we can get Justin playing like this week 1 next season, earlier in the year, man, it's up. Like, who's stopping us? Yeah, it's really not much to say. It's like, we balling. Hopefully they finish the game off strong.
We balling. Not much else to say. You got that right. Thank you for the voicemail. Moving on to Howie.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Bears to move on from Justin Fields and Caleb Williams, whoever they're going to get in the future. This is just embarrassing. Thanks.
Wait a minute. He said he can't wait to move on from Fields. He said this is embarrassing. Interesting. I wonder what – because, I mean, they were scoring from the beginning. So
are you sure is that from today?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Move on. Okay. I don't got time for that. I ain't giving any of that. Move on.
All right, thank you for the voicemail, Howie. But you might need clarification on that. All right,
Long podcast.
Dave, Ficky, Bears up 21-7 at half. Could have almost been 21-14 minus a catastrophic play. Fields, he's looked good to his credit. He's been sharp with the ball today. A couple bad sacks by the O-line. Nate Davis, not really sure where he's at today. I know his body's on the field, but his mind is definitely not. Complete embarrassment play from him. But other than that, everyone looking great. Tanya finally catching the football, utilizing those hands of his. Other than that, Roshan, he's been great. Defense coming alive as well. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep things going. And, I don't know if I really want to buy into another season of this entire coaching staff, but that's probably where this is headed at this point.
Yep. Sorry to break the news for you, Steven, but I think that is what's going to happen. And then thank you for the voicemail. And then Owen next.
That was the best half of Bears football so far this season. If they don't turn it over at all in the second half, this should be an easy win. And we're looking at a team that is 7-9 heading into the final week of the regular season.
Well, I got news for you. They did not turn it over in the second half, and it was an easy win. Appreciate it, Owen. And then these are the ones after you're on mute. I'm
gonna say real quick, appreciate the voicemail. Keely Williams, he said, is it just me or Mooney didn't play today? No, he did not play. He was out with a concussion. Also, we have a super chat. I wanted to get to that. I know we're
absolutely.
voicemails.
No, you're good.
Kevin Patrick, $5. First of all, appreciate it. He goes, stop taking neighbors or stop taking Neighbors. He's a small chest catcher. We want how do you know how to say Adunze?
I think it's Adunze. Yeah, I know you're talking about though. From Washington. I mean, I'm not mad about that. I'd take him too. There's three good prospects.
I think he said stop talking, maybe Neighbors. Stop taking. I don't know.
Well, either way, I think he's saying like he wants Adunze over.
That's the thing, man. This I'm excited about this. I love the draft, first of all, and you're not wrong there either, Kevin. So
appreciate the super chat.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Really do.
All right, back to the
absolutely. No, you're good. All right, let's go. These are the two. We have two that are after the game. So we'll start with Diego here first.
Man, if we get this defense next year and then this offense that's a little bit improved, we going to be special, man. Like Justin balling, DJ balling, the D-line balling, the DB's balling, Brisker, everybody's going crazy. Granted, it's the Falcons, but it's an NFL team. They came to win just like we came to win.
Wait, I think I already played that one. Now I'm thinking about it, but I had to cut that one because I think I accidentally played that one earlier. So we'll go.
Okay, I was like, it sounded familiar.
Yeah, I was like, these are good points, but I think I've heard this before. But we'll go to the last one here, which is TJ.
All right, we know Fields is a guy. All right, we're done talking about it. Now we got to figure out who's going to be our suckers this year, trading number one pick. My first contender is the Commanders. I say give us a Ron Payne, couple firsts, call it a deal.
I love it, man.
Hey, look, he's right. Who is going to be the suckers? Last year's suckers was the Panthers. Who's going to be the suckers this year? It's going to be somebody. These teams are desperate for quarterbacks.
Dude, it's just so funny.
I promise you.
For me, sorry, I'm plugging. I always forget to plug in my laptop before we go live, and I got a little notification. It was like 10% battery, and I'm like, oh shit, here it is again. But long story short, it's like if Caleb Williams doesn't pan out, the Bears could really somehow, depending on what team they trade with and what quarterback they pick and how it all pans out. You could I'm not saying number one because 3 years in a row.
It's never been done.
But top 5 would not be crazy.
You're trading your pick to a bad team. They need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the good teams. The good teams have good quarterbacks. That's why they're good. You're trading to bad teams.
My thing is this. Say the Bears, keep Justin. What a scenario would play out is if you make the playoffs next year, you make some noise, you win one even or something like that, and you get another top 5 pick. Justin solidifies he's the guy. You extend him for 190, 200 million, whatever it might be. It's like you really could just be set up. But getting ahead of myself.
But you know who just did that? The Eagles. The Eagles just went to the Super Bowl and they had a number 11 pick or something, right? Or 9. They had 2. They traded with us for 1. They had 2 firsts, both near top 10. So they got Jalen Carter and then they got the linebacker, I believe, from Georgia, who have both been good. Yeah. So yes, and so they just make their team even better. They're already good and they made their team even better. So absolutely, we could literally do that. I mean, it's a perfect world. Like we could get that. This cycle again, we're just cheating the system. He could get injured. I mean, that happens. I'm not ever wishing that, but there's a bunch of situations that happen with whoever we trade with, they end up not being that great. And we start again at number 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and we can trade again and all that stuff. So everything's, we have a lot of options. King Poles has put us in a great position.
Absolutely. Bear down, baby. I agree. Dying to Live Journal. I agree, man. And I want to get to Justin here. We'll end with this, guys. Obviously we'll be back next week. We'll be back next year. I just wanted to say that, man. They don't get to say that too often, but for real, we'll be back Wednesday, Thursday. We do have a special guest. He's been on the show before. I don't even think Ficky knows, but I locked him in.
I don't.
I'll tell you after. It's going to be a fun one. Bears versus Packers week. It's a huge week. I feel like it's a playoff game no matter what.
Absolutely.
But before we get to this press conference answer from Justin Fields, this is about him receiving those, we want Justin chants back. I have not listened to it yet, but I wanted to throw it up on the screen. I thought it'd be a good way to end. But if you've enjoyed this show, if you enjoyed this season, I know a lot of you guys have been with us for a while, but I do see a lot of new faces in the chat. Go ahead and just hit the like button, subscribe if you can. Ficky, what is it? New face?
New face. Yeah.
Face
hashtag
gang?
New face gang. If
this is
drop in the
Ficky's thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Comments hashtag New Face Gang. We'll make sure to give you a shout out. And if you're an OG, which I know there's a bunch of you in here, if you give a hashtag OG, we'll give you a shout out before we end the show. So,
but seriously, that's your line. I don't think I've ever had to say that.
No, you're good.
You
didn't do bad. It's fun.
No.
You're good.
Long story short, the love has been insane. We're almost at 3,000 subs on YouTube. Apple, Spotify listeners, I know a lot of you guys listen to it kind of, the old-fashioned way in regards to podcasts. If you can go ahead and go to the YouTube channel, show some love there. Vice versa, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and rate the pod. If you can do that, it would be great. If not, you just want to stick around and chat with us, we appreciate it. But again, we're on the road to 3,000 subs, and it's going fast, dude. We're almost there. So here is Justin Fields right after the Bears-Atlanta game talking about the chance from the Bears fans saying that they want him back.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it. It was great. Ever since the moment I've got here, the fans here have been great, to me, to the team. I was saying somebody in there like last year when we didn't have a good record. I mean, they're still showing up, late in the season, cheering us on. So Chicago Bears fans, definitely number one in the world. And, just know I love y'all. We love y'all as a team. And, they're always great. So definitely very appreciative of them and, how they just supported our team all year. So.
We've talked through the year about how there's uncertainty about where you're going to be next year.
Yeah.
Did you take a moment at all today and look around? Because this could have been your last.
I did, but I always do that. I've just made a big emphasis on living in the present moment, and I definitely did. I will definitely remember this game for the rest of my life. Just the atmosphere, the fans, the chants, the snow. I don't like snow as a quarterback, but looking back on it, it was great. Just the atmosphere, the fans, the game, and playing the hometown team where I'm from, beating them. So it was a good day today.
It's interesting that you start the season.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. There's nothing about that I don't love. So, I mean, look, this is why that I feel like there's a civil war right now on Bears Twitter is because whether or not Fields talent-wise checks off the boxes for you, not you personally, I'm just saying in general, a person, right? It's hard to not like him when he talks and does his things and everything he does outside the field, he does so well. I hope he balls out again next week, obviously, and he's really, 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 really makes this decision even harder for Ryan Poles because I would love to have Justin Fields back in a Bears uniform next season, right? Of course, I'm gonna put winning over anything. So if Poles thinks Caleb Williams is going to lead to more wins, and it does, then obviously I want to go that route. But for me as a fan, it's hard for me to not enjoy watching plays like this, the crazy plays he has today, right?
Which one was your favorite?
Running.
Which one was your favorite?
Okay, so typically.
No,
I'll put it this way. The best highlight was the run for 10 yards. The breaking 8 different tackles, whatever.
But was that your favorite?
No, my favorite was the anticipation back corner in the snow, DJ Moore over Jesse Bates. That's the best one because that's the quarterback I want to see. We could go through all last year. Fields has had 50 million highlight running plays. You know what I mean? He literally had one last week where he turned around and basically flexed on 3 defenders because they couldn't tackle him. You know what I mean? So I've seen enough of those. Those are fire. Those are the ones that are going to be more of the viral clips that you see that all the news outlets pick up, which we saw today. But
they're going to be on talk show hosts tomorrow, and it's going to be
100%.
Should the Bears keep Justin Fields? And we're going to have Coward, playing, and it's going to be these highlights, and this is why it's going to be difficult. Ryan Poles, I would say I don't envy him, but honestly, what a great position to be in. Nonetheless, unless you make the wrong choice here with the quarterbacks,
but he's set. He's set. He did all, and the funny thing is, he did all this. This wasn't he just got hired. He set all of this up. Besides, he didn't make the Panthers lose all those games, so that was luck definitely there, and lucking into the first last year, right? Even though some of that was on him because he kind of tanked. Let's be real. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of built his castle. Now he gets to sit on his throne and rule. So hopefully he makes the right decision.
Yeah,
hopefully. And then before we go out, we do have some Want to give the shout outs, like I said, Dobbsy in here, who is in here all the time. Appreciate it. Dobbsy34 with the OG. And then is it Keely Williams? Your new subscriber as well.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. Thank you for joining the show. Really appreciate everyone who's in here, per usual. That's all I got, though.
Speechless now. Bears versus Falcons. What a win. 37 points. We'll be back again. We have a really fun guest. He's been on the show before. And all in all, it's Packers week. So enjoy the new year. But we got a lot of work to do next week, as far as just preparing for, the last game of the season, man. It's bittersweet. That's what I'm saying. Going into the offseason on, winning 6 out of your last games. Yeah, you missed the playoffs, but then you beat Green Bay, and who knows what Green Bay's playing for. They might be playing to get in. We'll have to look at the numbers and crunch them. But how sweet would it be to pull a Lions, who did it last year, spoiled Aaron Rodgers in his last start in Green Bay? Let's do it, man.
Why not?
Green Bay.
I think they still have a chance. I think. You know what? I did see this. Someone made a comment. I don't think we're technically out of the playoffs. People were saying if the Packers and Vikings tie today.
And this is what I get. First of all, Daniel Greenberg, I'm going to put him on blast here. He tweeted that the Bears were officially eliminated. He's since deleted it. And so I was like, I even commented on it. I was like, oh shit, that sucks. I don't think you want to see this team. But anyways, apparently they're not. There's a very, very slim chance. I think it has to do with the Seahawks. Seahawks have to lose today.
Did the Rams end up losing to the Giants?
I think so.
Sorry, because that was a big one too. Okay, if they did, that's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Rams.
Look into it. Is our playoff hope still alive? That's crazy. We're still
Rams beat the Giants.
That messed us up.
That hurts us.
Yes.
They lost by 1. Or they won by 1. Shit. Anyways,
you tell me there's hope.
There is hope. Also, our sleeper fantasy. I'm in the championship, right? Because I think it's 2 weeks. I haven't looked at it, but I was winning, dude. This has nothing to do with the show, but I'm like, no.
You got knocked out of ours, right? The other one.
Oh, yeah, dude, that was tough. I had a great team too.
No, you did. You had a really good team. My teams were both garbage in those. Thank you, Justin Fields.
But hey, to go off and to be the first winner of our sleeper league. How it works is, guys, we have a fantasy league where a bunch of us in our group chat. We started a sleeper league this year, and I might have a chance to be the first I guess Super Bowl champion.
You know who also has the first overall pick? Not just the Chicago Bears. Your boy Ficky,
the Tank Master. Yep,
you got that right. I'm leading the tanks in that one. So,
anyways, appreciate you guys all tuning in. Before you leave, if you can hit a like button, subscribe if you enjoyed today's show. It really does help. I know we keep saying it, but it is just it's a simple way to help grow the pod. Also, tell a friend. Tell a Bears fan. We appreciate it, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.